If you love the thrill of racing but hate the risks, then buckle up. Everything Simulated is here to merge adrenaline with absolute safety. In a world where technology meets adrenaline, Everything Simulated is revolutionizing driver training with state-of-the-art simulators. From truck training to the thrill of motorsports, our simulators offer the most realistic experiences across all automotive applications. Gone are the days of endless bookwork and basic drills. Now it's all about hands-on, pulse-pounding action that prepares you for the real deal. Whether you're maneuvering a heavy mining vehicle or racing a high-speed car, our simulators, equipped with cutting-edge technology from leaders like SimRigs and TrackRacer, bring every nuance of the drive to life. And talk about making a mark. We're not just building simulators, we're fostering talent. From grassroots motorsports to professional series like the Aussie Outlaw GT3, sponsored by us, Everything Simulated is fueling dreams and careers. Ready to feel the excitement of the racetrack under your fingertips? Connect with us, and let's build your next simulator adventure together. Remember, we support those who support us. Join the Everything Simulated family, and let's race towards the future.
Here at TWRS, we're always here to help our squad when they need a little push in the right direction. That's just who we are. We're a beautifully diverse group of goofballs dedicated to driving fake race cars as fast as possible. And we continue to push each other to the front using the power of nonsense. We have one of the strongest NASCAR programs on the service, and you can access it all for $24.99 a month. And we just released individual subscriptions for $14.99 a month for each NASCAR vehicle. We also just added a Rallycross program, and our IndyCar program is taking off as well. So come join the weird side. We have speed and cookies. Cookies are not included in some locations.
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head-to-head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
Welcome everyone, welcome to round 11 of the Everything Simulated V8 Supercar Oval Series here from Kansas Speedway. I'll get that right tonight, Kentucky, and I called it Kansas last week, but we're in the practice session, round 11 from Kansas Speedway here for the Everything Simulated V8 Supercar Oval Series. Looking forward to a lot of good action tonight here for what will be a great round of action. It's definitely not all taken at the front of the series at the moment, so a lot to be played out. But before we talk about all those type of aspects tonight, joining me in the booth again, and it's so good to be reignited with you tonight, Paul Jackson, mate, from on our broadcast. We're back in here, we're commentating, mates, and we're in the warm-up here before we get into qualifying for round number 11 at Kansas. Good evening to you, mate.
Good evening, Aidan, and everyone tuning in tonight. Good to be back in the booth for second week in a row, so not bad out there on the track at the moment. Another minute to go and warm up before qualifying takes off. It looks nice and sunny there in Kansas, whereas in Victoria here in Australia we're a bit getting washed out at the moment.
Yeah, we are, mate, but Kansas Motor Speedway, different type of track, 1.5 mile oval. We'll go into the track facts as Kobe brings them up on the screen at the moment. We are at Kansas. Track length's 180 miles, 200, no, it's not. A race length, rather, is 180 miles, sorry. I'll get myself, it's Sunday night. Please forgive me, ladies and gentlemen. 290 kilometres, 1.5 mile oval, 2.4 kilometres, 120 laps the guys are going to have to participate tonight. 70% fuel capacity, tyres, 3 sets over the wall. Green, white checker, we will have 2 if is needed, and incident limit 17, 5 and 37. So it's going to be a great night of racing. Of course, we've seen that through the first 11 rounds or 10 rounds of this series. And it's the same as we see. But Kansas Motor Speedway, it's a different type of racing. We did go super speedway racing a couple of weeks ago. We went green, white checker. We went completely green last week. Will the guys be able to do the same thing this week, Paul? But Kansas, different type of racing. 3 and 4, hard on tyres. We're about to go in the qualifying session at the moment. Totally different type of racing. So we'll see how we go.
Yeah, it'll be interesting. I think there's similarities between the two tracks a little bit here and there, but yeah, we'll see how we go. And we're just on board there with Troy Davidson. Nope, that's 023. That's Shannon Wright, sorry. 23 and 023. There you go. I've already made the first mistake, but Shannon Wright coming out of pit lane there for his first lap around to warm up and into qualifying.
Yeah, and Kansas Motor Speedway, it's a different track, 1.5 mile over, but total different lines that you need to take. And of course, the supercar is totally different around an oval as you traditionally see with a NASCAR. So with a supercar, you're going to see Shannon, he's going to take a low line through 1 and 2, cuts the tri-oval there down through. So we'll see how he goes through his first fast lap. He's going to go, he didn't go low, so he's trying to keep that mid to low line out of 1 and 2. Traditionally, I would go low, and then through 3 and 4, you probably want to go about mid-track and then pull it down really hard to the low line. So Shannon Wright, as he goes through 3 and 4, we'll see whether that holds him in the standings at the moment. Does he pull it down low? No, he doesn't. He gets a wiggle on 3 and 4, and that's not going to be ideal, so we'll see where it stands him. He's one of the first people to settle up, but Troy Davidson up the top, 31.793. So you could see there that Shannon Wright, that really hurt him. On track now with Adam Ariel, my teammate, he's pulled out of it. So Adam Ariel at the moment, just pulling out of that and wanting to have another crack, Paul.
Yeah, it looked like he'd set a lap there already at 32.1, so it was sitting in about 6th spot. So obviously the guys just wanted to get a 1-lap dash in, but we'll just go through our series point standings there with our championship leader currently, Gary Wellman, on 370 points with a nice little gap there over Craig Roffey in P2 with 336, and Jamie Nankervis rounding out your top 3 there. Andy Barber 4th and Troy Davidson your 5, Adam Malone, Tristan Koch Tony Roffey, Troy Mortensen, and Peter Madsen rounding out the top 10 in our championship standings.
It looks like it's a fight of two horses at the moment between Gary Wellman and Craig Roffey at the front. Gary Wellman doing a great job at the front at the moment. Craig Roffey, though, he has definitely set it down at the front, up into P number 1, 31.744. So the championship is not done. Still a couple of rounds to go. Craig Roffey, second in the championship, has now put down the pole sitter lap. Adam Malone on board at the moment, up there in the championship as well, but a lot to be played out. It's Kansas, 1.5 miles. We have seen what has happened through the previous 10 rounds, and with these supercars around ovals, as Adam Malone makes his way around through 3 and 4, he's going to pull himself down, right down low, over the tri-oval. We'll see where that ends him, and he doesn't improve. So at the moment, Craig Roffey, Troy Davidson, Adam Malone will be your top 3. Cade Donnelly always up there as well, as we're a minute and a half into qualifying. On board at the moment, not sure who that is, but we're on board with Andy Barber as he's trying to set his quickest lap now. So Andy Barber at the moment, he's outside of the top 10. He's up inside the top 10 in the championship positions. Will he be able to get up there and to be able to get a good qualifying spot here for round number 10 at Kansas? We're about to find out as he comes out of turn number 3 and 4. A little bit of a squiggle down through the tri-oval, across the strike. Where's that going to put Andy Barber? And he is in P8. So Andy Barber out of P8 here for round number 11 at Kansas.
Well, we saw this last week at Kentucky, Aiden. We had, I think, Craig Roffey up there towards the front row, and Gary Wellman just starting back in, just towards the middle of the pack there. And we had some great racing between those two come to the line last week.
Yeah, we did. And we'll just go back before we just go on to that, Paul. Yes, we did. We had great racing. We went green flag racing last week. Hopefully we can see that again tonight. Craig Roffey, Davidson, Malone will be at 3. But before we come and bring you all the action here for the Everything Simulated V8 Supercar Oval Series here on the platforms, we will just go to a couple of ads and we'll get ready to bring you all the action here for round number 11. Welcome everyone, we're back, we're live here for round number 11 of the Everything Simulated V8 Supercar Oval Series. The grid is set and we're ready to go for round number 11 here from Kansas. We'll bring you through the grid and me and Paul will bring you through that right now. Craig Roffey in the 030 will take up the pole tonight with Troy Davidson out of the P number 2. In third position tonight will be Adam Malone and Cade Donnelly in the 41. Bringing up the second row. In the third row tonight will be Jerry Walters out of the United States of America in the 63 and Todd Maxfield in the 16. Out of the fourth row tonight will be Gary Wellman, your championship leader, with Andy Barber out of the 20. In the fifth row tonight will be Rick Vincent in the 94 and Shane Roffey in the 61, Paul.
Moving into the sixth row, we got Tony Roffey alongside Jamie Nankervis, followed by Terry Marwood and Adam Ariel in the seventh row. Shannon Wright and Jared Williams, followed by Tristan Koch and Derek Jacobs. They're also from the US. Alongside Scott McClintock is Troy Mortensen, rounding out your top 20.
Yeah, and in the 21st position, only 21 drivers tonight will be James Oliver in the 19 car. So a little bit of a compressed field tonight, only 21 cars. Unusual to see here for the V8 Supercar Oval Series, but it'll be absolutely door to door, side to side for what we are about to see, round 11 here at Kansas. It will be Roffey off the pole, Davidson on the outside. Don't be surprised, we're going to see 3 wide action. It's going to happen, Paul, but it will be Roffey bringing them off the pole this time. The Roffey does lead the field to the green flag this time around. He's got control of the field and his green flag, and we are going. Troy Davison, Kate Donnelly on the outside, teammates to Troy Davison there, Paul. He's going to push him at 1,000,000 miles an hour. Adam Malone on the inside, first back on the second line as well. So he's going to want to get up there as well, but they're just going to want to feel themselves out. At the moment, Craig Roffey, what a great jump from him at the start, mate.
Yeah, definitely wanted to get up high and just shut down any run there early from Troy Davidson. As you mentioned, you've got Kay Donnelly and Todd Maxfield there as well. So they've already had 3 Simboys cars lined up on that row for that start.
Yeah, 100%. Craig Roffey doing a great job at the front. He's holding stead at the front. Troy Davison trying to just hold on the outside there around Adam Malone. The guys in behind him as well, just trying to settle in. So I think this might be some green flag running. Kay Donnelly, third back on the outside line, just sitting in there behind the Rogue Esports car of Roffey as Adam Malone now takes the lead of the race. I'm not sure whether Adam Malone taking the lead over the race. So he wants to lead from the front at the moment. Jerry Walters, actually, that's who we were talking about. Jerry Walters from the United States of America. He wants to have a little bit of a trundle at the front, and he's going to have a look on the inside down the back stretch under the inside of Adam Malone. He probably will take the lead of this motor race, and it looks like it will. So Jerry Walters out of the United States of America wants to take the lead of this race. Adam Malone still holding fast on the outside. We have Gary Wellman there, first back on the outside. Troy Davidson, your championship leader, just fourth back on the outside as well. And Kate Donnelly will be in behind him. You can see him behind there on the outside, and they're going to work together as well. But at the same time, Tony Roffey wants to have a part of this as well in the yellow car, and he's going to come up into the inside. So a long way to go, ladies and gentlemen. Only 4 into 120. A long way to go here for the Everything Simulated V8 Supercar Oval Series here for round number 11. But Jerry Walters is your leader here, lap 5 into 120 ball.
Yeah, we've got those broke boys starting to come up down the inside there, as you just mentioned, Aiden, and might just be a little bit of strategy here from Simboys, just holding back tonight and conserving the tyre a little bit of fuel saving early on into the race, as they're just sort of happy to sit back there at the moment, as you got Rick Vincent coming up through with his teammates behind him. But good to see Jerry up there at the front leading the way for a few laps as well coming into the series.
Yeah, he's doing a great job there, and different series for these guys, jumping across from the United States and running the supercar in the oval. They're probably used to running a NASCAR series, and as we all get settled in at the moment, Jerry Walters and Rick Vincent, the 2 Americans, up the front at the moment, running the way. Adam Malone, he's no stranger to this type of series as well, and Roffey, Tony Roffey. Craig Roffey's dropped back a little bit. These guys are just playing themselves into position at the moment, in my opinion, Paul. They're playing themselves into position. At Kansas, we know how the car runs, and you can see they're so high out of turn number 1 and 2. You can't run the car so tight because you're going to lose that front right-hand tyre. Adam Malone just staying on the outside line. Rick Vincent still leading the way at the front, and he's doing a great job, but he's going to need some partners because as we come in through these pit fuel strategies, we've still got a long way before we get there, to be honest, mate. We're looking at about 55 laps or 57 laps before they come into pit lane, but it's all a little bit of a jigsaw puzzle at the moment. This is what we see in this series. It's all positioning yourself in the position to be able to be there at the end. We're 8 laps into 120, and you can see what it looks like on board at the moment. It is definitely crazy. Trying to just position your car into the right position to be able to be there when you get through pit stops. We got 2 pit stops tonight, so we're not even at the start. You know I get excited really early, Paul. So there is 2 pit stops tonight. We'll see how they go. But at the moment, Roffy, Walters and Vincent at the front. And I think, have a look at some of the guys in the background. They're just sitting there. They're just biding their time. They're just waiting and doing their thing. And as Kansas does, it's going to eat up your stuff. So they're going to, you can see other cars in the background. They're running the high line. And they're going to eat up they're going to just try and help their car and try and position themselves in to be a good place when they get into the back end of this race. But at the moment, Walters, Marwood and Marwood up into the front as well. So Marwood wanting a good run as well. So Paul, who wants to run at the front and who wants to play the long game? Are they banking on the caution? We don't know. There will be one, I'll guarantee you. But at the moment, Marwood doing a great job on the outside at Kansas. He's got the line and he's getting the run out of 1 and 2.
Well, I don't know. I might have to put the little wager on here. Well, a little bit of a wall scrub there from Walters just up high, but managed to come off that not too bad, but will drop back a little bit. But yeah, I was just about to say I might have to put the old wager on there. After last week we had a green flag race, so I reckon we can go back to back tonight with no cautions, and the boys will want to make the admins work a bit easier. But I'm wondering here, speaking of strategy.
Strategy, Paul.
Yeah, coming up with new words here.
Well, it's like me saying Kentucky at Kansas, mate.
I reckon there's a bit of strategy coming off from these sim boys, because usually would see them going hard and, you know, back and forth at the front there, and, you know, they've just dropped right back into the mid-pack here. So I reckon if you said, you know, you can go, you know, 55, 57 laps, I'm going to place my money on they're going to squeeze 60 and make it a one-stopper and see if they can pull that off.
Yeah, I'd agree, mate. They're no mugs. They know what they're doing, especially around the V8 Supercar Oval Series. It's a different platform, so driving a supercar around the ovals, it's totally different to what you see in NASCAR. So as we've seen through the first 10 rounds of this series, as we go through turns number 1 and 2, Terry Marwood leading the way, Terry doing a great job. But it is a different type of racing, Paul. And if you see it in regards to NASCAR, like it's totally different. They do need to navigate their cars away through different parts of the racetrack, and then at the same time, when they're doing that, like with NASCAR, you got to look. You don't really have the aero draft and stuff like that. Like, it's totally different. You can run separate lanes, but it's really important to be able to have that draft, as you can see now, down the back straight in the leaders 1, 2, and 3. Excuse me. It's really important to keep that draft, Paul, in regards to the car in front. So, albeit we're only 15 into 120, there's a long way to go. But different strategies playing out here, 15 laps in for round number 11 of the Everything Simulated Oval Series. But at the moment, Marwood into the fence. We've got our first caution tonight.
Well, I guess I just lost my money, but might jump back to a replay on that one if we can, and we'll see what happened there.
So Terry Marwood, down, we go through the tri-oval here, as we call it a tri-oval, not really. He's got the 61 on his outside. Down in 1 and 2, he holds his car down really low into 1 and 2, drifts up a little bit of net code, I think, there, and Terry Marwood up into the fence. And that's not going to be a good night for Terry. So, bit of netcode, bit of drifting up. Welcome to iRacing, Paul.
Yeah, definitely, and hopefully Shane Roffey there in the orange road car there didn't get too much damage either. But yeah, the front of Terry's car there looking a bit average with the bumper missing, so he'll bring that back down pit lane, and this might change up strategy a little bit. We'll see who stays out, and or I think probably most people will come in through pit lane, get a bit of a top up.
Yeah, I think they'll all come down through pit lane now to get a top up. So Terry Marwood there on your screens. A lot of damage at the moment. He's not all said and done at the moment, but a lot to come back for. Only 18 into 120. So as we say, Paul, to finish first you must finish. There is a fast repair on order, I believe, too, Paul. So Terry Marwood might get that right now. We'll watch that as he goes through pit lane. So there is one. There it goes, fast repair. So you can see it. One fast repair. So Terry Marwood back in the race, Paul.
That's very interesting because not usually have a fast repair. So the gift of the gods are giving tonight for Terry.
Yeah, and he'll be back and thereabouts. And Troy Davison won up in the championship. Well, he's not in the championship league. Gary Wellman is, I believe. But Troy Davison, one that's always up the front in this series. And no surprise to see him at the front at the moment, Paul. He will lead us to the green. So Troy Davison doing a great job. He transitioned through pit lane. A little bit on Troy Davison, mate. He is a great driver in the virtual world and probably in the real world too. But he's always there and thereabouts. And he always positions his car in the right spot. We're only 18 into 120 here at round 10 from Kansas. But he's always there. He's won championships in this league. He's won championships he's won championships in the Australasian Supercar E Series. He's won lots of stuff. And he's not there for no reason, mate. So he's doing a great job. And he's going to bring the field to green. A long way to go, mate. But Troy Davison in the Simboys car, in the red car, he's going to lead us green. But Troy Davison, great driver, mate. Like, he's there or thereabouts. But I tell you what, there's another 20 marauding hordes behind him that definitely want him not to win this race.
Yeah, definitely, and couldn't agree more on that. We've had a few good tussles over the times as well, and then I get to watch him fade off into the distance. But
come on, man.
But yeah, I've got to give a shout out here to James Oliver there in P4. That fresh-looking cool drive paint job on his Mustang there, looking very fresh. But pace truck's off, and we're about to go green.
Yeah, we're about to go green here for round number 11, and it will be Troy Davison off to the green. He jumps really quickly. So he's going to have no draft as he jumps off quickly down into turn number 1 and 2. Troy Davison will be your leader here, lap number 20, but don't be surprised. These guys will catch him really, really quickly. And in P2 at the moment is my live timing's not happening very well, but Tony Roffey in second place. If we can bring up Tower, that would be great. Roffey is there, and Vincent, and then Donnelly. So Donnelly will want to make his way up in behind Troy Davison pretty quickly, I'd suspect. But he's going to work with these guys and just try and pull up on the back of Troy Davison. Troy Davison, I'll tell you what a start that was, Paul. He's gone into the distance. So is he going to be able to maintain this?
That was a great start from Troy, but a little bit of drama towards the back of the pack there, a little bit of a brake lock up at the back there. I'm not sure what happened. I think might have been Malone maybe and Marwood at the back of the pack, and then everyone sort of just didn't seem to go. But got Kay Donnelly there now. He's moved his way through into P2, and he's on the hunt for his teammate.
is Toddy Maxfield there on the inside as well. He's wanting to work with Cade Donnelly, but he does have Craig Roffey on the outside. So Craig's just going to drop in behind Todd at the moment and try and push up on the back of these leaders. And he's got Rick Vincent there in fourth and Tony Roffey in behind as well. So a lot to be played out in this race. We had our first big caution. Terry Marwood was unfortunately one of the big players that did get played out in that thing, and he had a bit of incident. But at the moment, Troy Davison doing a good job at the front over Cade Donnelly, Maxfield. So you can see Donnelly. Donnelly's going to want to push up onto the back of Troy Maxfield. Don't be surprised, Troy Davison, sorry. Troy Davison, don't be surprised if Troy's just riding that brake at the moment, just trying to get that draft with Cade Donnelly, and they're going to work together now at the moment as they come down the back straight. And we've got Todd Maxfield, so it's Simboys 1, 2, 3. So they're going to work together. But I just say that, and Cade Donnelly goes, nah, I'm going to go to the front, and I'm going to lead this race and get an extra bonus point down through the start-finish line. And Todd Maxfield's going to follow him through. And Rick Vincent in the background as well. He's just having a briefing look. And Tony Roffey is there as well. So these guys, we say they're just wanting to play the race, but I don't think they are, Paul. They want to win the race. And we're 25 into 120. A long way to go. But these guys, it's elbows out and they want to go racing. So we saw that with Cade Donnelly. He could have sat in behind Troy Davidson there and just pushed him up, but nah, he's like, nah, I want to race. And these guys are obviously talking to each other as well. A long way to go here for round number 11 here at Kansas. So, mate, definitely, I'm excited to see this. This is going to get excited. Please pipe me down because I'm going to get excited really quickly. But Todd Maxfield leading the way at the moment over Cade Donnelly. And it's a Simboys 1, 2, 3 with Roffey. A Rogue Sim Sports in fourth and fifth. So it's Simboys versus Rogue Sim Sports at the moment as they go through 1 and 2 this time, 27 into 120.
Well, we can calm you down, all right, because, you've got a flight to Nashville later, but it's going to be delayed for next week anyway. But at the moment, you've got Todd Maxfield there sitting in P1 about to lose out on Rick Vincent there. He just gets the job done over the line. But, the Sim boys there, they, as you said, they would have been having a bit of a chat with each other. They've helped each other out and given themselves each that bonus point for leading the lap. So that's their job done. But as I said earlier, their strategy, if they were going to try and squeeze the 60 laps out of a tank, but that caution, that's obviously changed up that strategy, and now they're off the leash and they're got the hammer down. So as we see them up in the front end of this race.
Yeah, 100%. If we go back through to the midfield at the moment, we'll just let the field cleanse as they come across the start line here as they come through 3 and 4. Rick Vincent is your leader over Todd Maxfield and Cade Donnelly. We'll just let the field cleanse as they come across the start-finish line. And we'll go back to the midfield and see what it looks like for them. Give them a bit of love. We'll go back to Adam Ariel as he is on board at the moment. You can see him there in the Furo car. And we'll go on board with him and see what it looks like here around Kentucky and see what it's like navigating around these cars. It's not easy. Supercars around ovals, everyone can think, yeah, okay, supercars, yep, all good, but it's a total different thing when you're driving a supercar around an oval, Paul. So Adam Ariel now, and you can see he's back in the, can't see where he is now, in the 12th position, but you can see driving around this track on the supercar, it's totally different to NASCAR, right? So we're really resound to NASCAR's driving around this track. This car is not renowned to be able to drive around this track. So it's totally different in driving. And these guys are doing a great job, albeit only 21 around the track tonight. Adam Ariel there, you just got a little bit of a sense on what it's like to do, and he's trying to really navigate his way around this race so far. We're only 32 into 120, so he's not going to win the race right now. He's going to lose it if he makes a mistake. But still, at the leaders, Vincent, Maxfield, and Donnelly, really doing a great job at the front there, Paul.
Yeah, definitely. And what are we now? Lap 33 of 120 at Kansas. So the race is unfolding. We've got through about a quarter of the race now with one caution. And everyone just sort of settled in, and a lot of the guys running that high line on the track now. And a bit of a wall kiss there again from Walters. So US driver, it's the second time he's given that wall a little bit of a kiss, and Oliver in the background as well. Getting a little bit loose there too, so just managed to hold on to that. And I thought he might have been going for a bit of a drift there, but he did manage to hang on to that in the background.
He wouldn't want to do that many times more often, but he got away with that one through turns number 1 and 2. So Walters won't want to do that much more often. But this mid-pack at the moment, it's getting very spicy here as they're trying to make their way up to the front. Everything's simulated there. That might be Jamie Nankervis and Terry Marwell or Shannon Wright trying to make their way up through the field at the moment as Vincent, Maxfield and Donnelly leads the way into 1 and 2 as we go to the high shot. And you can see what it's like here. So look at how big this draft is. So you can see the car number 3 on the outside. He's going to get a big draft. He's going to want to back off. But through 3 and 4 here, we did speak about this coming into the race, Paul. 3 and 4 is a big part of Kansas where the tyre wear does make a big difference. So it definitely does need to position your car into a good position. So yeah, we can see the guys navigating at the moment, and I'm too excited watching the racing, let alone commentating. But 3 and 4 definitely, and you can see that on the outside there. The everything simulated guys really want to keep that outside line. Have a look who's in the background there, Andy Barber. Andy Barber up there in your championship contention, albeit a long way back. A couple of rounds ago, only takes a couple of incidents and he'll be there or thereabouts. So we'll see how we go. As we're on board now with
James Oliver there just dropped off the pack and just found the wall once more out of 2. So could have a little bit of damage on that car possibly, but his night's not going the way he's wanting it to, and probably hoping that a caution will be coming out shortly.
Yeah, 100%. As Rick Vincent still leads the way, my live timing is going nuts because it's telling me that Adam Ariel's winning, but he's not.
Looking at that, we might just go to a quick ad break there, Aiden, but we'll sort out those technical difficulties and we'll be back in a few moments.
Copy.
If you love the thrill of racing but hate the risks, then buckle up. Everything Simulated is here to merge adrenaline with absolute safety. In In a world where technology meets adrenaline, everything simulated is revolutionizing driver training with state-of-the-art simulators. From truck training to the thrill of motorsports, our simulators offer the most realistic experiences across all automotive applications. Gone are the days of endless bookwork and basic drills. Now it's all about hands-on, pulse-pounding action that prepares you for the real deal. Whether you're maneuvering a heavy mining vehicle or racing a high-speed car, our simulators, equipped with cutting-edge technology from leaders like SimRigs and Track Racer, bring every nuance of the drive to life. And talk about making a mark. We're not just building simulators, we're fostering talent. From grassroots motorsports to professional series like the Aussie Outlaw GT3, sponsored by us, everything simulated is fueling dreams and careers. Ready to feel the excitement of the racetrack under your fingertips? Connect with us, and let's build your next simulator adventure together. Remember, we support those who support us. Join the Everything Simulated family, and let's race towards the future.
You went, you served, and forged the relationships that only being baptized in the fire of combat can develop. At FallInVeteran.com, we understand the unique bond that veterans share. That's why we've created a platform where you can connect, share experiences, and build lifelong friendships with fellow veterans. Signing up is easy. Simply visit www.fall-in-veteran.com and create your profile. Customize it to reflect your military service interests and hobbies. FallInVeteran.com is more than just an online community. It's a support network where you can find resources, advice, and encouragement from those who understand what you've been through. Whether you're looking for camaraderie, mentorship, or simply a place to share your stories, FallInVeteran.com has it all. Join thousands of veterans who have already found their tribe and start connecting today. FallInVeteran.com. Come join us and experience the power of community. Sign up now at www.fall-in-veteran.com.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Everything Simulated V8 Supercars Oz Oval League, brought to you from Inside Lane Productions and Quasi Esports. We are currently at Kansas Speedway, laps 45 of 120, just to tick over to 46 now, with Rick Vincent still leading the way over Todd Maxfield and Cade Donnelly. Just in those breaks, we had a little bit of action just unfolding towards the back of the pack there, with a few cars getting sideways as we've got a little bit of a breakaway towards the back, a couple of cars dropping off there, but James Oliver there about to go down a lap, Hayden.
Yeah, as we're on board there, you can see Troy Davison in the 5th position, always up there in the championship. A long way to go here, Paul. Rick Vincent is leading the way as we go on board with him if we can, Kobe. Rick Vincent leading the way, and it is over Todd Maxfield. Cade Donnelly. Cade has had a lot of unfortunate incidents here for the Everything Simulated V8 Super Oval Series. We saw him last week up there in the positions to be able to race or to be able to fight for the podium, and he got caught up in the incident. At the moment, Rick Vincent leading the way over Maxfield and Donnelly in 3rd, Roffey and Davidson in 5th, and then Craig Roffey in 6th. Craig Roffey, I think he might be your championship leader, as we said earlier. 2nd, Craig Roffey is going to be looking for a good run tonight, but a long way to go, mate. We're only 48 into 120. We haven't really had many cautions. We've had one. So, one caution, the guys are just playing it out. Now it's fuel strategy, mate. So 48 into 120, different fuel strategy. Todd Maxfield, as you see, on in behind Rick Vincent there into 1 and 2. He's not really wanting to fight the race at the moment. He's just trying to stay there and trying to save some fuel, and as will Cade Donnelly, his teammate in behind. Tony Roffey in behind in the road car. he probably will want to make his way forward, but it looks like everyone's just sort of settling down and trying to save their fuel as we're 49 now into 120 here around Kansas.
Well, even 50 now. It just clicked over, but yeah, everyone obviously pitted on that caution earlier. I think it was around lap 17, maybe. So everyone's sort of on the same strategy. Obviously, the guys at the front there on a little bit more of a fuel burn. We got Tristan
Koch through
Koch down.
look, pit lane.
Yep, Tristan Koch down pit lane there, and just taking an early stopper, maybe trying to maybe do a little bit of a stop, maybe take some tyres there possibly as well, thinking a bit of tyre wear maybe coming into things, but I did notice I think he had just dropped off the pack there, as we've got maybe about an 8-car breakaway here from the second pack now.
Yeah, it's interesting to see here as you see Adam Ariel in the back end there of the Everything Simulated car. I'm not sure who that is, whether it's Jamie Nankervis. No, it's definitely it is Jamie Nankervis. So he is trying to push him down, but it is a 8-car breakaway at the front at the moment here at Kansas, and we are 52 into 120. Rick Vincent still leading the way. He's happy to lead at the front over Todd Maxfield, Cade Donnelly, Tony Roffey. You can see there Tristan Koch coming out of pit lane. He's going to be a lap down, or a lap or two down lap or two down. He's going to let everyone go by the looks of it. So not sure what happened there with Tristo, why he came down pit lane. He might have a little bit of a different strategy, but if we talk about draft, yes, it's a little bit different through 1, 2, and 3, and 4 here at Kansas, and it's a different way of racing, but you can see how Tristan has a lot better tyres, and he's going to be able to drive right up onto the back of the cars in front as we go back onto your leader. Rick Vincent leading the way over Maxfield, Donnelly, Roffey, and Davidson, and Marwood. Marwood coming back up at the moment, as Marwood was in that incident early on, Paul. He had that fast repair. Have a look who's in behind there as well, Andy Barber. But Marwood, after that fast repair, he needed that, as we see more cars come down pit lane.
Yeah, so you got Troy Davidson there in the background and Shannon Morrison. That's the one.
Shannon Morrison.
No, Shannon.
Is this like Kansas and Kentucky, Paul?
Almost. Yeah, come on.
Come on now.
It's been a long Sunday day. I better not bet that too loud, but
well, mate, I played up last week, mate, and couldn't call it right. So about time I called you under the bus as Vincent right. And Maxfield down through 3 and 4. So that's one back on you, mate. But Vincent will lead the way as we see. Looks like Jamie Nankervis down the pit lane.
Well,
Jared
Williams. There you go.
Oh, there you go.
There we got you going under the bus here. So, and just to point out, we haven't had a championship lead change through the course of this race yet, Aidan. So Gary Wellman's still our championship leader.
Yeah, and Gary's just going to do what he needs to do at the moment, just to try and position himself into the back end of the race to be able to be there or thereabouts. Rick Vincent is doing a great job up the front. Maxfield, Donnelly, and Roffey doing a great job as well. It looks like they're ready to sit in. Craig Roffey back there in the Rogue Sim sports car in the 7th position. Don't write off him. He'll be there or thereabouts. Also, you can see Andy Barber. He's just having a stalking brief in the background. Right, so he's not there right now. His race doesn't start now. He's just having a stalking brief. He's just there, chilling out, saving his fuel, doing his stuff, and it'll be interesting to see when he comes through pit lane and see where he ends up. Troy Davidson, you see 3 cars in front of him. One of the antagonists in this series, doing a great job there up in the 6th position, as well as now we see Jamie Nankervis come down through pit lane.
Yeah, definitely. So a few little mixed stops here through the last few laps from everyone. So interesting to see. Maybe might have been getting a few tyre warnings or something going on in the background that's causing them to stop.
It's all fuel strategy, I believe, Paul. We did say coming into the race, we're looking at 55 to 57 laps under green flag. Who didn't pit through the first one? That's what we need to know. But at the moment, all we need to know is the leader of the race, and it is Rick Vincent. He's doing a great job up the front. Terry Marwood doing a sensational job up into the second position. He takes that second position off Todd Maxfield. Cade Donnelly in the fourth position, and Tony Roffey back in fifth as well. So don't be surprised to see these leaders come into pit lane very shortly, Paul, and we'll see where they fall. So they've got a little bit of a draft as it looks like Terry Marwood wants to make the move to the front, and he will do that down into 3 and 4, and he gets that job done on Rick Vincent. So we'll see how they all play out when they come through pit lane. We're now 60 laps. We're half distance here for round number 11 of the Everything Simulated V8 Supercar Oval Series from Kansas, and Terry Marwood is your leader. But a lot to be played out. They're going to need to come through pit lane. We're about to see what's going to happen. There will be late cautions, I'd suspect, Paul, and we'll see how we go. But at the moment, Marwood, Vincent, Maxfield, Donnelly, and Roffey are 5.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting because, you know, you saw the lap since pitted there earlier on the timing board there on the side, and sort of laps 42, 43 odd now as you got Malone and I think that might have been Shane Roffey coming down pit lane. Yeah, so interesting to see, you know, they are going a bit earlier, so if they could make those sort of, you know, mid-50s laps, they're these guys that are pitting early now, they're going to have to do another stop, I think. They're not going to make it to the end where everyone that's still staying out, they could potentially only need one stop when they do make their stop.
Yeah, definitely, mate. And what they're going to need to do is they're going to see people come through pit lane really, really quickly. As Terry Marwood has definitely jumped off into the distance. He shows a lot of pace here as Todd Maxfield on the outside wanting to make a good run as we see one of the cars come into pit lane at the moment. But what we're going to see with the drivers that have come through pit lane, they're going to want to make hay while it rains. They're going to want to go the quicker they can and try and jump up because they don't know where they're going to end up. Are we going to have another caution? We don't know, but they don't want to lose track position. But at the moment, Cade Donnelly there in front of Troy Davison, they're going to be the leaders of this race. Terry Marwood is going to come into pit lane. So Terry Marwood's going to have a penalty as he goes into pit lane. So there you go, Cade Donnelly and Troy Davison. As we did say earlier in this broadcast here for round number 11 of the Everything Simulated V8 Supercar Oval Series, they were just sitting back and waiting, and it looks like they've done the right thing. But a long way to go. We're about to find out as the guys going to transition through pit lane. As we're on board with Cade Donnelly and Troy Davison coming out of 1 and 2 here at Kansas.
Yeah, and it looked like Terry Marwood there, who was the race leader, after a fortunate incident earlier in the race that brought out the caution, was having a good run back into P1, but couldn't quite pull the car up and missed the pit entry there and took a shortcut, or maybe the longer route around the cone there. So he'll have a 40 seconds stop and hold penalty there, I'd say.
Yeah, it's very unfortunate for Terry there. He's done a great job after being in incidents early, and he made his way back up into the lead of the motor race, and he's done a great job. But at the moment, it is Sim Boys 1 and 2, Cade Donnelly, Troy Davidson, and Craig Roffey from Rogue Sim Sports. And Gary Wellman, don't write off him, the big G-Dog. Don't write off him. He'll be there or thereabouts. But everyone's all blinking into pit lane at the moment. Don't be surprised. We're going to see these leaders jump into pit lane in the next couple of laps and see where this this race actually cleanses and see where everyone is. So we can see a car just coming out on the inside there, out of pit lane. Gary Wellman on the outside over Craig Roffey. Craig's just wanting to hold the outside. He's going to want to just stay in that slipstream. You can see Kate Donnelly at the moment. He's doing a great job in behind Troy Davidson, but he's not wanting to stay in behind him as well, Paul. So as we see Kate Donnelly coming into pit lane here, lap 68.
Yeah, he got that car pulled up just in time there, but I really want to see the battle of the green cars once more. We've got Wellman there that was all over the back of Roffey, looking like he wanted to try and get around him as he's looking for another move down the inside on the back straight there.
Yeah, and he's going to make that pass done into 1 and 2, it looks like. Oh, they're going to come into pit lane. So they're going to go side by side into pit lane. So he makes the move and then they come into pit lane. So good job there. There's an extra spot there. And we'll see how that goes. There's a big crash in the background, it looks like.
Oh,
But we'll just keep on the action now through pit lane. And Roffey and Wellman, as they come down, Wellman made the move into 3 and 4 before they come down pit lane. We'll see who gets out the other end. So Wellman into pit lane. He's going to take his compulsory pit stop. You can see Adam Malone doing a great job there. So we'll see where they end up. If we can go back to Gary Wellman, that'd be great. And we'll see where Wellman comes out as opposed to Roffey. So Wellman is stationary in pit lane. You can see him now. He's off the blocks. Roffey's not out yet. So Wellman's jumped him in pit lane. So Wellman, great job. And I tell you who's done a great job. Davidson out in front of all of them.
Well, Troy Davidson there was in the lead coming into that pit stop anyway. So still come out in front. But got a few new faces there at the front. You got Nankervis at the front, who pitted a handful of laps ago with Adam Malone in behind him.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting as this race does progress. Jamie Nankervis, no surprise to see him at the front. He's good in this car and good with strategy, but with the tyres and everything, he's don't be surprised. Troy Mortensen back and forth as well. Vincent, Roffey, Donnelly, Davidson. They're going to make their way up to the front as well. Can they get to the end? We don't know. 71 into 120 here for Everything Simulated for round number 11 of the Everything Simulated V8 Supercar Oval Series. Brought to you by Quasi Esports. Troy Mortensen there on screen going down through 1 and 2, but the pit stops have been done now. It's about to be cleansed. At the moment, Jamie Nankervis leading the way over Adam Malone. No surprise to see those guys at the front. Shannon Wright, Troy Mortensen. Troy would be absolutely chuffed at this at the moment. Troy, good mate of mine. He's always wanted to just have a good result, and he's up in 4th. Rick Vincent, Roffey, Donnelly, Davidson, Wellman and Roffey, your 10. But with 73 into 120, how about we just have a deep breath here to all the viewers? We'll bring you through all the sponsors and we'll have a look at that, and we'll come back and we'll bring you the final stages here for round number 11 of the Everything Simulated V8 Supercar Oval Series here from Kansas Motor Speedway. Who's been led by Jamie Nankervis, Adam Malone and Shannon Wright.
Here at TWRS, we're always here to help our squad when they need a little push in the right direction. That's just who we are. We're a beautifully diverse group of goofballs dedicated to driving fake race cars as fast as possible. And we continue to push each other to the front using the power of nonsense. We have one of the strongest NASCAR programs on the service, and you can access it all for $24.99 a month. And we just released individual subscriptions for $14.99 a month for each NASCAR vehicle. We also just added a rallycross program, and our IndyCar program is taking off as well. So come join the weird side. We have speed and cookies. Cookies are not included in some locations.
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head-to-head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
You went, you served, and forged the relationships that only being baptized in the fire of combat can develop. At FallenVeteran.com, we understand the unique bond that veterans share. That's why we've created a platform where you can connect, share experiences, and build lifelong friendships with fellow veterans. Signing up is easy. Simply visit www.fall-in-veteran.com and create your profile. Customize it to reflect your military service interests and hobbies. FallenVeteran.com is more than just an online community. It's a support network where you can find resources, advice, and encouragement from those who understand what you've been through. Whether you're looking for camaraderie, mentorship, or simply a place to share your stories, FallenVeteran.com has it all. Join thousands of veterans who have already found their tribe and start connecting today. FallenVeteran.com. Come join us and experience the power of community. Sign up now at www.fall-in-veteran.com.
If you love the thrill of racing but hate the risks, then buckle up. Everything Simulated is here to merge adrenaline with absolute safety. In a world where technology meets adrenaline, Everything Simulated is revolutionizing driver training with state-of-the-art simulators. From truck training to the thrill of motorsports, our simulators offer the most realistic experiences across all automotive applications. Gone are the days of endless bookwork and basic drills. Now it's all about hands-on, pulse-pounding action that prepares you for the real deal. Whether you're maneuvering a heavy mining vehicle or racing a high-speed car, our simulators, equipped with cutting-edge technology from leaders like SimRigs and TrackRacer, bring every nuance of the drive to life. And talk about making a mark. We're not just building simulators, we're fostering talent. From grassroots motorsports to professional series like the Aussie Outlaw GT3, sponsored by us, Everything Simulated is fueling dreams and careers. Ready to feel the excitement of the racetrack under your fingertips? Connect with us, and let's build your next simulator adventure together. Remember, we support those who support us. Join the Everything Simulated family, and let's race towards the future.
Welcome back to round number 11. of the Everything Simulated V8 Supercar Oval Series. You're on with your leaders at the moment, Nankervis, Malone, Wright, Mortensen, Vincent. There is a 5-car pack at the front pulling away, but there's a bigger story to talk about tonight, Paul, as we're 85 in. There's different fuel strategies and different things going on at the moment. These guys at the front, they have run at least another 10 laps on their fuel, and you do have Rick Vincent was your previous race leader, and we also do have Cade Donnelly, Troy Davison, Gary Wellman, and Roffey in behind. They might be looking like they're stretching their legs at the front, but they're going to have to come through pit lane. Is the guys in behind this little pack going to have to come through pit lane? We're about to find out. We said the fuel drop was about 55 to 57 laps. We're now 88 into 120. I can say they've only done 16 through their green stop pit strategy. So you can see that down on your right-hand side of your screens, ladies and gentlemen. So are they going to have the pit, Paul? We're about to find out. But the guys at the front at the moment, they're trying to make hay while hail's due, and they're trying to get as far in front because they know they're going to have to come down pit lane. Are these guys, as you see in the front, these guys in the chasing pack, are they just backing off a little bit and trying to save their fuel and to be able to get to the end? So we're about to find out. But we're here at Kansas around number 10. What a great racing it is, as Nankervis does lead the way over Adam Malone, Shannon Wright, and Troy Mortensen. Mate, we just spoke about that as the ads were on, and thinking about who's going to win it, as Adam Malone's down in the background as well. We're only 32 laps here to see who's going to decide round number 11 of the Everything Simulated V8 Supercar Oval Series. A lot to play out. So not sure how it's going to go, but we're about to find out. But these guys right here, it's definitely on in the second pack. But Nankervis doing a great job and showing a clean set of heels at the front, but he's definitely going to have to come down pit lane.
Yeah, definitely. So you got a 4-car breakaway here from that second pack. The 5th car there's actually a lap down. Not sure who that is. We might find that out in our air, but yeah, they're definitely going to have to stop again, this front pack. But the question is, on that second pack, you got Rick Vincent, who's leading that second pack, and he's got about a 6-lap extra. He pitted 6 laps earlier to the rest of the guys there behind him as well. So Rick Vincent there sitting in the front there in that Rogue Esports car. He could be in a little bit of trouble himself as well if he can't drag out those extra 1 or 2 laps from that tank. He might have to come down pit lane himself, whereas the guys behind him could be in prime position here to take the race win.
Yeah, Craig Roffey, you can see in the background, in a great position as well. You can also see Shane Roffey. He's in a good position also, as they're just trying to range up on the back of the cars in front. We're 91 into 120, so we're under 30 laps to go here for round number 11 of the Everything Simulated V8 Supercar Oval Series at Kansas. And it is Adam Malone now that's taken the lead, as you can see there on your screen. Adam Malone, as he's blinking a little bit, Adam Malone's decided to take the run at the front. So he probably knows that he's not good to go to the end. So he's just like, I'm going to the front and I'm going to try and extend the lead as much as I can, as the Everything Simulated guys in behind him. But have a look at this. Roffey's in behind Shane Roffey. And who is it? Shane Roy's definitely not Craig Roffey, but the Rogue Sim Sports cars. They're going to work with each other, and Troy Davidson and also Cade Donnelly they're going to work to try and pull themselves back up into the front group, because I'm sure this front group still needs to pit. So we're about to see what's about to happen. We're 93 into 120, just 27 laps to go here for round number 27, and we're about to see. But the road guys, they're wanting to run at the front, We've seen at the front all night tonight, though, we have seen the Sim boys knowing what they're doing. So they're sitting in there behind, and don't be surprised we see a little bit of a Daytona finish tonight.
Just jump in there as Kay Donnelly's coming down pit road now. So the first to make that jump. But he was one that possibly could have made it to the end. So he's going for a bit of an undercut. But, yeah, that top 4 pack slowed right down because now you got Rick Vincent there right on the back of him. So they're definitely worried at that front pack that they weren't going to make the finish, and they've slowed right down to try and get back on the draft here. But Rick Vincent storming through those front runners now to try and reclaim the lead of this race.
Well, what that shows us is no one's good to go to the finish. So by Kay Donnelly coming down pit lane, no one's good to go to the finish. So they're all going to have to come through pit lane. It's going to be a short dump and run coming to the end of this race. Adam Malone saw that, obviously, and he's put his foot down in front. He's now nearly a second to the good of every car behind him, and he's taking the lead of this motor race over Troy Mortensen. What a great drive by Troy Mortensen up into P number 2 over Shannon Wright. Shannon Wright having a great job tonight as well. Great run up into the P number 3. But people are coming down through pit lane. So as we see, there's the blinks. There's the blinks. They're coming down through pit lane. And I think no one's going to be good to go to the end.
Oh, I better not put my money where my mouth is again. I might lose that one once again. But I don't know. I still think there might be a couple of guys that might be able to make it that have been sitting back in the pack that probably have calculated for this. And we'll see what happens as we get a few more laps into the back end of this race.
We're on board with Rick Vincent at the moment as he's in through pit lane as we go back on board down the main straight into 1 and 2. Not sure who that is because the camera keeps changing. Sorry, Coach. But on with the everything simulated car, so I'm sure that might be Shannon Wright, and we can see the guys behind them. So have a look at these Sim Boys cars. We've got Craig Roffey in the Rogue Sim Sports car, and we have Gary Wellman in the Sim Boys car, and then of course behind him we have my live timing going crazy. Tony Roffey, we've got Troy Davidson, Scott McClintock. Scott McClintock up into the 8th position as well on reverted time. So we'll see how that goes for Scotty. But these guys at the moment, they're going to work together. We're 99 and 120, so only 20 laps to go here for round number 11 of the Everything Simulated V8 Supercar Oval Series. It is the Everything Simulated guys at the front at the moment, right? He's leading the way, but he will need to come through pit lane. But you can see the Sim Boys coming really, really fast, and you can see the Rogue Sim Sports guys in Craig Roffey coming fast as well as they go through 3 and 4. So don't be surprised as we see the Everything Simulated car in pit lane. That's Jamie Nankervis, and Troy Mortensen, after serving his pit stop as well, he's done that as well. So it'll be interesting to see how these... That's the first time I've called that tonight, boys, by the way. Interesting to see. That's the first time I've said it. It'll be really good to see where they play out. But at the moment, Craig Roffey and Gary Wellman leading the way. As you can see on the inside there, Cade Donnelly, he's not wanted to sit behind these guys all night. You can see Andy Barber in behind there as well. Cade Donnelly, he hasn't wanted to sit behind his teammate. He's wanted to lead from the front. I did say earlier, Andy Barber's going to be up here and thereabouts, and he's doing that as well as we see the pit lane transitions happen.
Well, there's a reason that Cade Donnelly doesn't want to sit there, is because he was the first one to blink down pit lane. So he wants to get clear of these guys, drop that hammer and go, because he's still got that lap to make up on these boys when they do pit. So he's going to want to get a real good start and not get stuck behind them as he's starting to pull away there from Craig Roffey, your race leader.
Yeah, he's doing a great job. He's just sitting in behind Craig Roffey at the moment. Cade Donnelly. He's really want to make a good run, but Gary Wellman in behind Craig Roffey, he's going to want to work with him really well and to try and pull up on the behind of Cade. So we're 18 laps to go. We're getting into the business end. Andy Barber in the background, Troy Davison as well. This is probably your fight for your podium, ladies and gentlemen. I'd suggest don't write off Rick Vincent as well. We'll see how that goes. So as they go through 1 and 2 here at Kansas Speedway, have a look at those pictures. You can not get any better pictures here on the broadcast of the network. That shows how fast it is, and it doesn't really show how fast it is, to be honest, Paul. It is really fast here around Kansas and in these supercars, and how close they are as more guys are going to the pit lane.
Yeah, definitely. Fast enough to shake the camera there on the wall as well. But it's still going to be interesting because these front guys here, Roffey, Barber, who just made the move on Gary Wellman there up into P2, can they make it home? They still haven't stopped yet, so I think they're looking at trying to push this for a 50-lap stint. So if they can get that done, if they have saved enough fuel, we are looking at our podium spots here at the front here. But Cade Donnelly, though, still got that hard yard of 15 laps to go to try and get back to the front of that pack there behind him. So sort of almost got maybe the back straight in front of them. You can see him just up there at the front. So if these guys can get to the end, then they've done a great job in their fuel strategy tonight.
Well, if we have a look at it right now, so their current stint with these leaders are 37 laps. From what we thought it was 55 to 57, we've only got 14 laps to go. So they should be good to go to the end. Andy Barber is absolutely in the sweet spot at the moment. You can see him there in the Whiskey business car in the 3rd position. He's going to be able to utilise his fuel and to be able to transition his race into a good place to be able to have a run when it happens. So it's a little bit like Daytona at the moment, Paul. They're just sitting there and using the fuel. At the moment, Cade Donnelly, he rolled the dice and he goes, I'll come through early. You can see Andy Barber just running that midline there through turns number 1 and 2. That just allowed Tony Roffey to have a little bit of a look on the inside, and he's going to let him have an inside look here, and he's going to get that position through 3 and 4, and he'll just sit in there and have a look. So you can see at the moment, we're probably looking at around about 13 laps left of fuel with these guys, and I don't think they're going to need to pit to go to the end. The one I'm concerned about is Craig Roffey at the lead of this motor race, Paul. He's literally extending his legs at the moment, and he's using a lot of fuel as opposed to the rest of the field, as Tony Roffey going around the outside, and now it looks like Craig Roffey into pit lane, Paul. So there's the answer.
I was going to say he was sitting pretty good there because he did have Rick Vincent and Shane Roffey in front of him as he just come round, Craig. But I thought, maybe if they can do it, then he's got a couple of cars there to draft and, help save that bit of fuel so he's not running at the front. But Wellman now making the move on Barber there. So
I think, sorry to cut you off there, Paul. I think Andy's saving a bit of fuel there. Like, he could have run faster, and you can see him just backing up into the fuel. I think he's committed to not pitting. He has just backed off and allowing the guys in front of him to go forward. So keep an eye on Andy Barber, because he's either going to make the commitment, and you've got to make it early. I'm going to run fast, and I'm going to come in pit lane, and I'm going to trust my speed and to be able to get up there. But Andy Barber at the moment, he's just sort of rolling off and trying to save his fuel. So Andy Barber playing the fuel strategy at the moment here, with 10 laps to go, Paul, I'd suggest.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting. So, like, now we've got, Gary Wellman, Andy Barber, and Troy Davidson. So you can see there in fourth, Cade Donnelly. So Cade's made his way back up to fourth, but he's still got a 20-odd second gap he's got to close there in 9 laps. So it's going to be interesting. He might be able to shut that down if these guys at the front here do have to start running a little bit slower to stretch that fuel to the end, as Wellman's now got Todd Maxfield in front of him to help with the fuel burn.
Yeah, and you have a look at Andy Barber and Troy Davidson as well. As you can see on your screens, Troy Davidson in the 4th spot, just in behind Andy Barber. Sorry, 3rd spot rather. They're really going to have to need to work with each other at the moment. We did see Cade Donnelly blink early in the pit stop, as we said earlier. So if these guys come down through pit lane, that will ruin their race. So at the moment, they're just sitting there and they are just trying to navigate around the track, save the fuel. Gary Wellman leading the way. They do have a lap car in front of them at the moment. But the best thing for Gary Wellman is that's his teammate in front of him. So he's able to use that. So this is for the win here for round number 11 of the Everything Simulated V8 Supercar Oval Series. Can they get to the end? We're about to find out. Cade Donnelly in the sweet position if they can't, but we're about to find out as we see Roffey around the outside in the road car, and he's trying to get a lap back there, I believe. And he's on fresh tyres and a long way back, but he's back on the lead lap. So it's, if there is a caution, he'll be back there and he'll be able to fight for the podium positions. But at the moment, Gary Wellman doing a great job at the front. And if we go back to Gary Wellman, that'd be good. Gary Wellman doing a great job. And that's Andy Barber and Troy Davidson. So with only 5 laps to go, that's your podium at the moment. Can they get to the end, Paul? We're about to find out.
That's the big question, Aiden. Can they get to the end? So that time slowly ticking down on Cade Donnelly's. Dropped about 3 seconds, but still got 5 laps to go. I don't know if he's going to have enough to get back there, but the big question is, can these 3 make it to the finish? As Wellman's just dropped off a little bit on his teammate there, but he's still got a nice little gap there that he can close up on, and got a little bit of gap there to Andy Barber as well behind him.
Andy and Troy are probably just saving a little bit at the moment. And they've probably been saving for the whole way through this stint, to be honest. But 4 laps to go. I think they're ready, and they know that they're ready to go. They're ready to get to the end. It's absolutely amazing driving and amazing fuel strategy from these 3 drivers to be able to be up here. They're 20 seconds. You can see Cade Donnelly back to 17 seconds. He's not going to be a player if this does go green. So they're now just sort of sitting there and ready to go. Andy Barber there in the background behind Gary Wellman. He's just going to use that draft and try and have a go. Troy Davidson, don't ride off him as well. And that's 1, 2, 3 in your motor race. But the thing that Gary Wellman's got going for him at the moment, he's got his teammate just about to go a lap down, just in front of him, as you see a Road Sim Sports car of, I think that might be Tony Roffey on the outside, on the fresh tyres going. So this is the strategy play, and there's a lot to play out. You can see there, Andy Barber made a lot of gain in behind Gary Wellman as we're about to go 2 laps here for round number 11 of the Everything Simulated V8 Supercar Oval Series. It is Wellman, Barber and Davidson as we go across the start-finish line. There's lap cars to play a part of this as well. There's a lot to go on. Davidson on the outside there of Andy Barber. He's wanting to make his move as well. So we're about to heat up. 2 laps to go. Troy Davidson, he gets the job done up into P number 3. Lap cars, are they going to play a part in this? Looks like they will. Andy Barber just staying on the outside, but at the moment it is Gary Wellman and Troy Davidson at the front. 1, 2, Andy Barber and 3. It looks like Andy Barber's just dropped off in the background. Doesn't look like he's got anything to play in this, so it's a Sim Boys play. 1 and 2 as we go white flag. It is Gary Wellman and checkered flag. So sorry, I thought we went white flag. So it is Gary Wellman and Troy Davidson taking a lead over Andy Barber. I got too excited too late. My apologies.
Yeah, you did, because just as we went white flag, you read it. There was 2 laps to go, I think.
I can only go by my visuals. I'm sorry, ladies and gentlemen. But it is Gary Wellman taking the win over Troy Davidson and Andy Barber. So the fuel stretch, they did a great job with the fuel stretch, and it didn't really pay off to be able to jump in and do that extra fuel stint there, Paul. Sorry, ladies and gentlemen, I got a little bit excited too late, but I can only go on my visuals of what I see. But Gary Wellman, your winner here for round number 11 of the Everything Simulated V8 Supercar Oval Series. But I tell you what, it was definitely about fuel tonight, Paul.
Yeah, definitely. And I think Cade was 1 lap earlier maybe in the pit stops to his teammates. So they probably were burning up on fumes coming to that checkered flag, I'd say. And, yeah, Wellman there on the start-finish line, he's out of fuel. He can't even do a burnout. So he was definitely on the fumes there. But we'll run through your standings for the race at Kansas here.
Yeah, we'll go through. So first place tonight, and well-deserved, Gary Wellman. What a great drive in the 45 Sim Boys car. Coming home in P number 1, 120 laps around here at Kansas. It's no mean feat. It was a race of fuel. We saw everyone go through, but Gary Wellman did the best job of the bunch. Troy Davidson in the Sim Boys car, his teammate in second position in the 23, just 0.17 seconds behind. Andy Barber coming home with a solid P3 in the car 20. Cade Donnelly home, the one that we thought might have been up in the race tonight. He made the choice to come down pit lane. He probably had no choice to be able to do that, but he still come home in P4. Adam Malone, after being up there early in the race in P5, good solid result for Adzi. And Rick Vincent out of the United States in the 6th place. Shane Roffey in 7th. Craig Roffey in 8th. Troy Mortensen, he'd be happy with that one with another P10. And Todd Maxfield from Sim Boys coming home in your P10, Paul.
Over the page we go. Tony Roffey in P11 with Scott McClintock in P12. Shannon Wright in 13th. Adam Ariel in 14th. And Tristan Koch in 15th. Followed by Jamie Nankervis in 16th. Jared Williams 17th. Jerry Walters from the US in 18th. Terry Marwood in 19th. And Derek Jacobs also from the US in 20th.
And rounding out your field in 21st is James Oliver. So unfortunate for James, 76 laps down. But I'll tell you what, around Kansas, what racing was that, mate? That was amazing racing. We might have had a couple of cautions early, but once the boys got going, it was all about fuel strategy. And how good was that?
Well, what racing was that? I blinked and it's already finished. So it went pretty quick, and I'm sure the boys would have loved a bit more racing action. But 120 laps done and dusted.
We'll go to the ads. We've got your winners here for round number 11 of the Everything Simulated V8 Supercar Oval Series. We'll go to your ads. We'll bring up your winners, and we'll have a chat to them very shortly.
Here at TWRS, we're always here to help our squad when they need a little push in the right direction. That's just who we are. We're a beautifully diverse group of goofballs dedicated to driving fake race cars as fast as possible. And we continue to push each other to the front using the power of nonsense. We have one of the strongest NASCAR programs on the service, and you can access it all for $24.99 a month. And we just released individual subscriptions for $14.99 a month for each NASCAR vehicle. We also just added a Rallycross program, and our IndyCar program is taking off as well. So come join the weird side. We have speed and cookies. Cookies are not included in some locations.
If you love the thrill of racing but hate the risks, then buckle up. Everything Simulated is here to merge adrenaline with absolute safety. In a world where technology meets adrenaline, Everything Simulated is revolutionizing driver training with state-of-the-art simulators. From truck training to the thrill of motorsports, our simulators offer the most realistic experiences across all automotive applications. Gone are the days of endless bookwork and basic drills. Now it's all about hands-on, pulse-pounding action that prepares you for the real deal. Whether you're maneuvering a heavy mining vehicle or racing a high-speed car, our simulators, equipped with cutting-edge technology from leaders like SimRigs and TrackRacer, bring every nuance of the drive to life. And talk about making a mark. We're not just building simulators, we're fostering talent. From grassroots motorsports to professional series like the Aussie Outlaw GT3, sponsored by us, Everything Simulated is fueling dreams and careers. Ready to feel the excitement of the racetrack under your fingertips? Connect with us, and let's build your next simulator adventure together. Remember, we support those who support us. Join the Everything Simulated family, and let's race towards the future.
Oh, welcome everyone back again. We've got the podium getters, and what a race it was here for round 11 for the Everything Simulated V8 Supercar Oval Series here from Kansas Motor Speedway. But we'll bring up P number 3, Andy Barber, mate. I definitely was on you all night. You had a good strategy, mate. Before we go through to the strategy of the race, at the back end we saw that it was a little bit of a fuel strategy, so I'd probably segue a little bit different there. But mate, a lot of different strategies, a lot of different things, but you dragged yourself up into P3 and a good championship bag of points running into round number 12.
Yeah, no, just kind of thought of that on the run, and it was just lucky when the caution came out, and pretty much ran the tank out in that stint, and yeah, got fuel at the last minute, and kind of did my maths when I came back out, and I could kind of figure that, you know, if I could save a lap or two, I might potentially be able to make it, whereas the cars that pitted a couple of laps beforehand, you know, would have a tougher time with that. So I was kind of racing myself to some extent, but I also knew that Gary and Craig pitted on the same lap as well, so yeah, I was just trying to run with those guys and save from that point.
Well, I could see with about 10 to go that you, like, if you go back and watch the broadcast, we were looking at the fuel strategies and everything, and we could see that you were trying to save a little bit, and we thought that, I did, in my commentary, thought that maybe you were trying to save to try and have something at the end, and you didn't really have that at the end, and it was good to come home in P3, but were you trying to just consolidate the points and consolidate a good position, or were you trying to just back off and know that the other guys around you needed the pit and you could come home for the win?
Yeah, that's right. That last stop, we naturally had better rubber as well, stopping later, so I knew that we had that under us as well, which would help with the overall mean pace of the race. And yeah, when I worked out the fuel, I tried to save a little bit for a go at the end, and we had around about half a lap each, because by the time the revs picked up on my car, Gary and Troy were also taking off, so we were all kind of thinking the same thing. But yeah, no, it was different. It was great to see a different strategy play out tonight. It was more so on fuel, not tyres tonight, so yeah, no, definitely an interesting race, and one where you really had to use your head.
And one thing about this series, the V8 Supercar Oval Series, for anyone watching here, on behalf of Everything Simulated, anyone that wants to get involved, what is the thing that brings you to this series? What is the thing that makes you want to run it? And of course, you run high-level NASCAR Oval Series as well, not taking anything away from that. But what makes you want to run this series?
I just simply love the supercar on an oval format. I mean, it's pretty cool. I kind of even like it more than the NASCAR, but each has their different challenges. Both cars are different, and especially with the new Gen 3 cars coming out, they'll be interesting next season as well. So yeah, no, definitely a challenging race, but I know that I come each week to race the Sim Boys and the Roffies and have a bit of fun, so certainly had that tonight.
Well, you're up in the 4th or 5th position in the championship, and that'll jump you up a little bit. I think the championship is almost done in the top, but coming into the back end of the rounds, how are you feeling? Getting a podium in the championship, is that a goal?
Oh, absolutely, 100%. And yeah, I've kind of been in this position before and lost it, you know, with a last lap to go. Yeah, I've been there before. So, but no, I'm just kind of just enjoying my racing and having fun. I'm not kind of taking it too seriously, and yeah, just taking it week in, week out. And I guess that's where the results, you know, reflect that as well. So I'm quite happy to have myself and Adam, the only 2-star cars in the field tonight, in the top 5. So yeah, we'll definitely take that and look forward to next week.
Well, just digressing on the star guys, so D-Mac and the rest of the boys, what are they doing at the moment in their sim racing? They obviously love this series, and it was just you and Ads tonight. What are they doing? What are they concentrating on?
Yeah, no, it's been a bit thin the last couple of weeks. D-Mac's got a couple of real-life things that he's been dealing with, and yeah, obviously that takes priority over racing, and Tom's been overseas gallivanting around at Tomorrowland, so yeah, he's been absent for about 3-4 weeks, but yeah, he's back in the country now, so I certainly expect him to see him here next week.
Well, Paul, I'll jump here across to Andy before we let him go. He's been so gracious with his time after coming P3 tonight, but Paul, I'll jump here across to Andy.
Well, congratulations on P3 there, Andy. But yeah, I don't know if I've got much for you here, so I might just have to ask you, if you want to give a shout out to your sponsors.
Yeah, absolutely. The other 2 boys, congratulations to them. Yeah, it was a great race racing those guys, and especially the point where Gary and I kind of clicked to each other and what was going on, so that was kind of cool. So shout out to the podium, and yeah, the Southern Stars guys, Tiana Holiday Parks, Mitch's Excel Garage, and yeah, Mike and Rose up in Burham Heads probably watching the stream, so shout out to them as well.
Yeah, nice. And as always, the car looks good, and love your paints. You punch out some quality paints there as well. So big shout out on the paint job there tonight.
Yeah, cheers, boys.
No worries, ladies and gentlemen. There you are, P number 3 tonight here for round number 11 of the Everything Simulated V8 Supercar Oval Series. None other but Andy Barber. Big congratulations to you tonight, mate. Great job for P3 here at Kansas. But it will take us across to P number 2. No other than TD, the big Troy Davidson. Troy B, mate, this series, you love it, mate. You love it. You've been up the front. You've been a championship winner. Haven't had the best run this season. Not up the you're up the front, but not where you usually want to be. Come home tonight at Kansas with the P2, doing a great job. How did the night feel for you?
Yeah, thanks, Aidan. Yeah, it's been an interesting night. I was sort of just cautious to start off with, just to find your pace and looking up the tyres and fuel early in the race, and then it was that last pit stop. It wasn't even really on our mind, and sort of come out, and I think sort of the relative was saying probably 1.5. It was 50 laps to go, I think it was. It was probably 1.5 short, and I thought, Gaz and a few of the boys were sort of like, geez, we can nearly do this, and yeah, it was tight. I tell you what, I don't think I ever conserved fuel so much in my life, but we got there in the end, which paid off.
Yeah, funny you say that. We were talking in the broadcast booth, and we saw Kay Donnelly, your teammate, and obviously he would have been through your comms. He come down pit lane, and he was there or thereabouts, like fighting for the win throughout the race, and he decided to blink early, and you didn't. And you guys at the front, you decided to conserve the fuel. Was that, I suppose it's probably a stupid question, but was that a concern? Because when we were up in the broadcast booth, we were looking and going, oh, are they going to make it? We're looking at live timing. Did you think that the benefit of staying out was going to be more so beneficial to the detriment of going through pit lane?
Yeah, it was either, like, it was that tight on the relative and sort of just couldn't get it. It was just break even pretty much. Just couldn't, no matter how much we tried, couldn't get it to, get much up our sleeve. And it was literally win or bin sort of philosophy. Like Cade, I think, went in 1 or 2 laps earlier than us, the pit stop before. So he just couldn't get under enough. So he sort of said he just called it early and said, I'll go get some fuel now and fresh set of tyres and do that alternative strategy. But we sort of stayed out, and I knew it was me and Gaz. Didn't really know if Craig or Andy was on the same sort of strategy, but yeah, obviously Andy was, and it paid off. But I tell you what, there wasn't. It was pretty stressful the whole time.
Well, mate, the benefit of this series is it's so diverse, right? So you go from 1.5 mile ovals to 2 mile ovals to super speedways, etc., etc., etc. It's so different. I'll ask you the same question that I asked Andy. What draws you to this series, and what makes you, like, of course we run in different series, we all do that, and we have a great time doing it, but the V8 Supercar Oval Series, and it was actually started, for all once of a better word, from the Australasian Supercar E Series, and this is where it goes on, and Steve Hoppett has been able to create this environment for people to keep going on. But what's it that keeps drawing you back to this combination? Because at the same time, V8 Supercars on Oval is not usually a particular thing that people do, right? So people looking at the broadcast, they go, Supercars on Ovals? Why? We all know what it's like, and we all love it, but what brings you and keeps drawing you to it?
Yeah, it's just the racing itself. It's for me, it's some of the most fun I have on iRacing, and I think just because of the way they handle in the draft sort of can bring a lot of people into play that may not quite have the speed, but you just, and then different ways you set up the league and some of the races, but a lot of, like we've seen tonight, like a lot of strategy comes in as well, which can happen in other series as well. But sometimes it's either this season not so much tyres because he's had 2 or 3 extra sets, but fuel's always thereabouts, and sometimes you can jump people on the pitch just from the supercars take a bit longer to fill up than the NASCARs. So it's definitely a strategy there. But more importantly, it's just the racing itself. I just love the, and we're getting, over the few seasons now, even the ASE, there's quite a few drivers that we race hard against and compete against and you can trust. And just week to week, no matter what the track is, it just seems to be real close, tight racing.
And just to elaborate on that, and I don't mean to keep your time too much, mate, but just to elaborate on that, we did go back to the NASCAR side, and you're a really very talented driver, whether it be through the NASCAR, the supercar, road side or whatever. Very talented, always competitive wherever you are. I need to probably digress a little bit and talk about the difference from the supercar to the NASCAR on oval. And the reason why I'm saying this is because supercars on oval, and I did say that previously when I segued to your previous question, with supercars on oval, people don't usually predominant and see that as a good combo. NASCAR, when you come into it, and you're very talented in that as well, how do you drive that differently, and how do you manage your race differently as opposed to the supercar? And I know personally, and you've raced me a lot, how do you navigate that differently as opposed to what you do in the NASCAR?
Yeah, I mean, fuel first and foremost, I think, in these. Tyres, it used to be in AC because, only having the one set, but it's not too much of an issue this season because of the extra sets, but fuel definitely just because of how long it takes to refuel them. But I don't know, to be honest, with these, I feel like I can feel exactly what the car's doing nearly at all times, where NASCAR, I don't quite have that. I like to think I do, but compared to some of the top guys, I seem to chop the tyres and stuff in the NASCAR. I think just the downforce on the supercars, just for whatever reason, I seem to understand that better than the NASCARs. But both are great fun, but both completely V8 sort of heavy cars and stuff, but both completely different at the same time, aren't they?
Yeah, 100%, mate. But you did a great job tonight, P2, Sim Boys, and getting a big chunk of points coming into round number 12. But Paul, I'll jump across to you, mate. Have a bit of a chat to Troy before we let him go.
Well, again, congratulations on P2 there, Troy. With obviously, in your chat with your whole team and that, and Cade looking at doing a little bit of an earlier stop to you guys. So, it's obviously you got the comms going between yous and, trying to work out strategy and what works best for you guys and the team. What do you think, obviously going for that, alternate strategy of being a little bit earlier?
Yeah, it's not something we planned from the start. It's just, I think as the race evolves and a few curveballs get thrown, different yellows at different times, and, if you've led the pack a little bit, you might have used a little bit more fuel than someone else, and, we're obviously talking in the team, but, it's one of those things, there's no set rule from word go what you're going to do because, curveballs happen and changes happen and you just got to deal with it at the time. So, but yeah, we obviously talk as a team, but we could sort of see that, talking to Cade, he just wasn't going to quite make it. And if he had tried to make it and then fell short, like me and Gazza, we were pretty confident, but I tell you what, it was that tight. But Cade was a lap or two shorter, so he definitely wasn't going to make it. So it was a total waste of time, him hanging out with us. And then if he was going to go in, because pretty much the rest of the whole pack was going to have to go in at some point, he might as well caught it early and fresh tyres, heap of fuel, and just go for it, and that's how we end up getting the fourth.
Yeah, well, good to see you got back to there anyway and come home in P4. But just wanted to get a bit of input for everyone else looking at home. And, obviously, as you mentioned, as the race evolves and strategies and how the fuel burn affects others in the race.
Yeah, no, that's it. It's it just adds to the extra fun of it, doesn't it? Just a bit of strategy comes in, and like I say, even when you make a decision, sometimes you're still not 100% confident, but you just got to make a decision, go with it, and try your best to make it come off.
Well, Dave, I'll jump in now, mate. Great job on P2. Big chunk of points coming out of round number 11. we'll give you the time. Have a big shout out to your sponsors. Big shout out to everyone involved in the race. It was a great job, mate. Now's your time.
Yep, cheers, fellas. Sim Boys, Hot Toddy Heating Stalls, United Electrical. Steve putting this series on, like you said, it sort of went dormant for a season or two, and I think he's in hospital at the moment, so I wish him all the best. And you guys with the broadcast, excellent helping out Aidan and Paul for, when Steve's been unwell or whatever, and everyone involved in the league, races, everything. It's great fun, and love being a part of it every week.
Whereas, mate, it's great to have you in it, and it's good to see you up the front, and no surprise to see you up the front. So Troy Davidson, your P2 place getter tonight here on the Everything Simulated V8 Supercar Oval Series for round number 11. Troy Davidson, thank you, mate, and thank you for your time.
Yeah, cheers, fellas.
Anyway, on to your winner, the big G-Dub, Gary Wellman. Good job to you tonight, mate. The winner here for round number 11 of the Everything Simulated V8 Supercar Oval Series here from Kansas, mate. What a race that was. It was a race of attrition. It was a race of fuel strategy. A couple of cautions early, so it definitely didn't make it easy, but you come away with the win.
Yeah, cheers, Aidan. It was, a bit of a nervous one, that one. Just trying to hang on to the end there and see if the fuel would stretch. Sort of comfortable, most of it sitting in the draft, but I knew at some point I'd probably be out on my own. And then when Andy sort of made me go around him, I was like, oh, geez, this is not going to end well. But nights like tonight, it's good to have teammates, because I think I saw Toddy in the rogative on new tyres a little bit back, and I said, any chance of helping the boys out here, Toddy? And he come around and probably saved me that half a lap that I was going to be short. So, massive shout out to Toddy on that one. And I owe him a beer, I reckon. So.
Yeah, we saw that on the broadcast, mate, and we saw that Andy just sort of lifted off the throttle and it let you go past. And I even made sentiments on the broadcast going, you got a lap car in front of you, which was your teammate, and he was allowing you to save fuel. Is that exactly how it went down?
Yeah, that was it. I mean, I didn't want to just sort of hit the brakes and do, play around like that. We're all kind of, if we could get there together, I knew there was three of us left, and it's just trying to work out how we'd make that work, I think. And then Toddy saved the day, so that was good. And it was just then a matter, I think, of who had the fuel to gun it, soon enough. And I think Andy and I both had the same idea at the same time, and Troy might have been playing a bit nice, because I reckon he might have had a bit more fuel than both of us. So, but anyway, that's good on him for letting us go for it.
Well, if we bring up the championship standings before we come into this round, if we can do that, Kobe, and we have a little bit of a look, just so you can see how this championship is playing out as we're round 11. Gaza, you come into the round and you are well in front, and now you've just extended your lead at the front by a big margin, with only a couple of rounds to go. I think you might have this one in the bank, mate. You come into the round and you were 34 points in front of your closest rival of Craig Roffey and Jamie Nankervis, who had not the best night tonight. Andy Barber, of course, who come third. He's going to do good, and Troy Davidson as well. So extended your championship lead. You're going to come home possibly with a championship if you can go through the next one or two rounds with solid results, and you might come home with the first championship in the Oz Oval Series.
Yeah, that would be something to be proud of, mate. So it was, I still wasn't super confident. I knew, Craig, he charges pretty hard, and Jamie's been consistent all season. I don't know, he must have had a drama tonight, but tonight, I don't know. I thought Craig might have stuck with us and been there at the end, but he obviously had to push a bit harder than he wanted and burn some fuel. So I wasn't sure if our strategy was going to work until about a lap from the end there. So, but no, happy with the lead there, mate. And I think it's shaping up pretty good now. And Troy would be right there too. I think he had to miss a couple of rounds, so that's probably hurt his chances a bit. But he was definitely right up there early as well.
Don't hold yourself short, mate. You've done a great job. But currently leading the championship after round 11. But Paul, jump across to you. Anything you want to say to Gary before we let him go?
Once again, congratulations on P1. I'll just lead off with this every time because it works. But well done. And back in the booth again for another week and another win.
Yeah, cheers, Jacko. Strung a few together now, so it's it's good. I don't know. It seems to keep falling in my lap somehow because there's plenty of good drivers out there. So my luck will have to end soon, I think.
Yeah, I was going to ask off the top of your head, how many race wins have you actually had this season?
Oh, I don't know, 4, maybe 5. I'm not sure. Don't know, mate. But yeah, I've had a couple.
We'll say close to half the season then you've taken out. So, but no, that's some excellent driving there, and obviously the reason why you're up here and in the championship lead as well.
Yeah, that's it. You got to just be consistent in these things, and night like tonight, I think it's patience as well. As tempting as it was to push to the front and get the bonus point for a lap lead, I was like, just don't know how fuel will turn out after that caution. So I'll play it safe here. I'll hang back, and I was sitting up around 8th or 9th, and then yeah, you just you got to see where you are once you stretch that fuel for that long stint. And yeah, tonight I was in the right spot.
Well, we actually saw that. Don't mean to jump in, Paul. We actually saw that, and I segmented that in the broadcast. You did drop back into that 8th and 9th position and just chilled out and was trying to save your fuel. And if you go back and watch the broadcast, I thought that, and me and Paul even said that, and Paul, you'll probably agree with this. We even said that you were probably sitting back there just trying to save the fuel, and you've just segued into that and gone, that was exactly how your race was panning out. But then we got some cautions, and there's always going to be 1 or 2, but you position your car in the right spot. So it would have been really easy to lead from the front and go. But what you did is you navigated your car through there and saved a bit of fuel, got through the caution, and that allowed you to be stationary less through pit lane. Would that be correct?
Yeah, pretty much, mate. The other thing too, like this, most of those guys up the front, you trust and you know comfortable being around. But sometimes there's someone that's, I don't know, you're not quite sure how they race, or you haven't raced for against them for long. So it's a bit of preservation as well, I think. If you see, no, you weren't there tonight, so it couldn't have been you. But yeah, some of that's just letting them race up the front. They're going to probably chew their tyres up and stuff, and and sometimes there's a wreck like there was tonight. And I think you just got to put your car where there's not going to be a wreck. And if you're sending it into 4th or 5th when there's a bit of a battle pack there, might not be the place to be. So you just got to know when to hang back at sometimes.
Well, mate, P1 here, and your winner for round 11 of the Everything Simulated V8 Supercar Oval Series. We'll give you a chance, and we'll let you go and chill out. But before we do that, big shout out to everyone involved, and your time to shine, mate.
Yeah, cool, mate. I'll make it quick, but yeah, thanks for Everything Simulated, Inside Lane Productions, Quasi Esports for putting the show on. We love it. Sim Boys, shout out to Steve. Hope he's doing well. Hope he's tuned in and had a entertaining broadcast. The missus, I think she tunes in as well. And Andy and Troy for the podium, and everyone else that fronted up tonight. Thanks.
No worries, mate. There you go. Your winner here for round number 11 of the Oz Oval Series here from Kansas. None other than Gary Wellman. Your league owner, Steve Oppett, announces myself and Paul Jackson, Kobe Jordan in the background as your producer. But we are not done yet. We're round 11. We're about to go into round 12. We cannot wait to bring you that action. I hope everyone tuning in here on Quasi Esports was really excited and loved that and everything brought to you here on Quasi Esports. If you're interested in becoming a sponsor, jump onto Quasi Esports on Facebook. Want to be a driver? Search for Oz Oval V8 Supercar Racing. The league ID is right there in front of you on your screens, and you can be a part of this. V8 Supercars on Oval. Stay up to date on www.ozovals.com or Facebook on ozovals.com/Facebook or on YouTube, ozovals.com/YouTube. All your streaming networks, everything, everywhere you need to go. Next race is Nashville Super Speedway. We can't wait to bring you all the action here next week for round 12 of the Oz Oval Series here for everything simulated. But for tonight, it is all wrapped and done and dusted. Your winner tonight was Gary Wellman, second place, Troy Davidson, third place, Andy Barber. But for myself, Paul Jackson, and Kobe in behind the screens, we thank you for tuning in tonight. We cannot wait to see you back here, same place, same time, next Sunday night here for the Oz Oval Series. It will be Nashville Super Speedway, and we'll bring you all the action. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Have a great night.